confidence continues to increase and severe weather to happen Friday through Sunday this week as we start seeing greater moisture return, greater Cape values, and a better environment to begin with to get thunderstorms to develop and go over the same areas over time. First, here's a look at dew points as we get into the Friday through Saturday and Sunday time frame. You can see we get a greater plume of moisture to be in place ahead of this trough that I will be showing later on in the video. But this greater plume of dew points will increase the Cape values, allow a more unstable atmosphere to happen with better chances to get long-lived complexes to occur as well. So this is by Friday afternoon. First day of severe weather potential. Dew points, a pretty widespread area of dew points in the mid 60s, upper 60s. This model, the European model, has a pretty good over-mixing bias as well. So dew points could be a little bit higher in certain areas. And what this shows, the high-res model guidance that we won't see until Wednesday, will do better at showing the dew points for Friday and Saturday time frame. But either way, you can see a plume of greater dew points compared to the next couple of days. As we do Saturday, you can see the same thing happening with more of a gradient showing up of dew points with a stream of mid upper 60 dew points, 70 dew points even. And as you get further northeast, you can see it drops off quite a bit down to the 50s for dew points, 60-degree dew points. So a pretty good gradient setting up for this weekend. And these complexes will just ride this gradient, as I will explain a little bit more later on in the video as well. Looking at the Cape values for Friday afternoon and evening time frame, a pretty good plume of rather low for the time of year for Cape values, but it gets into the moderate range of about 3,000 Cape for some areas. This will be enough to get severe weather to happen, but maybe low chances of getting like a long-lived damaging complex to happen Friday afternoon and evening. But as we move to Saturday, we have greater Cape values being in place. More storm fuel is what it really is being in place for Saturday afternoon and evening into the overnight hours with a pretty sharp gradient of Cape values. It goes from 2,000, 3,000 range all the way down to nothing as you get further north of the I-90 area as well. So this gradient, this is a pretty classic setup to get a long-lived complex for Saturday afternoon and evening into portions of the Corn Belt with decent Cape being in place as well. It could be higher, especially this time of year. You can get much higher Cape values, but we don't have no 80 dew points this weekend for the corn, as the corn sweat that brings the 80 dew points won't really be happening this weekend as well. But it will be enough to get a long-lived complex to happen. So this is a look at what one model is showing for Friday afternoon. It does have isolated scattered thunderstorms into portions of the Midwest and the Great Lakes Friday afternoon, evening time frame. Now, if this happens, this will lower the chance to get to 100 degrees for temperatures Friday for some of Iowa and them areas. But the chances of seeing these thunderstorms actually happening isn't as high as what this model will probably show, just because of the cap. It might still be in place a little bit, but as we get to the overnight hours or the evening, we should get thunderstorms to start to develop and could become severe. But that is after peak daytime heating, where temperatures will already be cooling down by this range. Now by Saturday, models tend to be horrible at showing the complexes, the areas, and all that stuff. They change a lot. So, but I'm just showing this just to show what models are still hinting at for these storms. So this is Saturday. It does have some scattered thunderstorms along this entire gradient of moisture and Cape values from the plains all the way down to Indiana area and the Corn Belt region. But I would assume a more organized cluster or complex will happen along the warm front than what this shows. This shows a widely scattered area of thunderstorms for Saturday evening. But this is the last. If you can go to the model run before this, it does have that. The model run overnight last night does have this complex happening Saturday evening. It's a pretty long-lived, fast-moving complex from North Dakota all the way down to Indiana area, with other areas of storms. So, each model run will be very inconsistent on showing the placement of the complex, but looking at the upper air pattern, it does seem that Saturday probably has the best chance to get a long-lived damaging complex to happen with, swaths of damaging winds. But Friday through Sunday are definitely days to watch as well. This is as we go to Sunday. The shortwave is really over us now. We're getting past us, but the cold front will be japed. The cold front placement will depend on the sea weather, how far west the sea weather will go. But at least Sunday severe weather should occur with the cold front with scattered areas of thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorms for some of Wisconsin, Iowa, down to Illinois and Missouri. This model continues to show a pretty large area of thunderstorms set Sunday evening as well. So Friday through Sunday, 3 days of severe weather. One day will probably be the most potent day. That's usually how it goes, but we will know more about that as we get closer. Taking a look at the mid-level winds, we can see the shortwave trough will begin to overspread the upper Midwest this Saturday and into Sunday. Now, the exact timing of the shortwave trough will depend on where the severe weather will happen. Exactly the day that we'll have the highest chance of being, a more long-lived complex, or you can say derecho too, but you can't really predict the derecho at this range. And honestly, this setup doesn't appear to probably be a derecho just because we might have a couple of limiting factors being in place. But either way, you can see this belt of moderate mid-level winds will be in place, overspreading the upper Midwest. This is the Sunday time frame. You can see the short wave is pretty stretched out into the Corn Belt region. This will be enough to get thunderstorms to develop. Even if it's capped, the short wave will bring enough forcing to break the cap. And even if not, by the evening into the overnight hours after sunset, the cap usually erodes to begin with because the temperatures begin to cool down. And the spreads between the dew points and the temperatures are less after sunset than they are at 3 or 4 p.m. But either way, I'm not worried about the cap for this weekend. We have the ridging back further out west. That typically brings a cap to begin with, so I think we'll be fine on getting storms to develop in this time frame. Temperatures over the next few days are going to be very warm, hot, extreme heat expected. These are highs for this Thursday. We are continuing to see consistent model agreement on getting highs well into the 90s, even about 100 to 103 degrees or so from now through Friday, Saturday time frame. This is a look at highs for Wednesday afternoon. A lot of the Midwest will have dew points. I'm at dew points. We'll have temperatures into the 90s, around 100 degrees for some areas as well. Looking at the lows for Wednesday night, will be in the mid 70s as well. So not much relief into the overnight hours. Thursday afternoon, highs in the 90s. For Friday, you can see highs continue to. Friday could be the peak day for heat. As well, with highs being well into the 90s for portions of the Corn Belt, and with the greatest chance of getting to 100 degrees into Iowa, and as far north as the I-90 area. You can see 90 degrees. I'm at 100-degree temperatures. As you get further north, the relief begins because the cold front begins to move further south. The region moves further west. As you get to Saturday, Saturday could be a very hot day as well along the sets of the warm front where the warm front sets up. But this gradient of very hot temperatures to cool temperatures, this is where the complex will ride easily. But this placement will change quite a bit as we get closer, but it is a predefined gradient that will be in place. And as you get to this weekend into next week, temperatures cool off quite a bit compared to what it is now, with temperatures maybe at times being below average. Here's a look at the temperatures compared to average for next Wednesday. They're still above average slightly, but not near as bad. And we can continue to see below average temperatures are possible through the end of July at times. But again, not no big cool down is going to happen this month. It's trending warmer than it was forecasted. Kind of just the way it is sometimes, but the blue indicates below average temperatures, and the brighter colors like yellow and red indicates above average temperatures to the end of the month. So no big cool down, but we will get relief compared to what it is now, with highs back into the 80s at times as we get through the rest of the month. But this month is the hottest month of the year to begin with, so you can't really expect 70s in the Midwest this time of the year. One last thing before I wrap this video up, I do want to show my X page. If you don't follow me on X, then you can go over there on X, and I make multiple updates each day, similar to Facebook, but there's times I go a bit more detailed on X, especially for weather nerds. If you want to say, I do get a little bit more geeky on X, but I have been posting a lot more on X over the last few months, and I plan to continue that. So if you don't follow me on X, then make sure you do so as well. And lastly, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, because I will be making daily videos as long as I can into the winter time as well. And then tomorrow or Wednesday, I do plan to talk about more about these thunderstorms this weekend, as we start getting better model data to happen. So thanks for watching.